Russia launched this huge drone assault. We're talking over 100 drones across Ukraine. And the impact was immediate and tragic. At least 10 people killed, dozens injured. It was a really wide-ranging attack.
Yeah, and what's fascinating, I think, is how quickly the operational tempo can shift.
Mhm.
Almost right after that Russian assault, Ukraine hit back. They targeted Russian air bases with their own drones. Reports say they damaged something like 40 aircraft.
40.
Yeah, 40. It's not just, a simple tit for tat. It really feels like an acceleration, especially in this drone warfare aspect. Both sides showing they can launch these big coordinated strikes pretty quickly. It takes a lot. Stockpiles, intel, rapid deployment.
That's a major hit. 40 aircraft. A serious blow.
Definitely. It shows how vulnerable even defended assets are now.
So while all that's happening in the air, there's also a really interesting, maybe even stark, strategic move happening on the ground. Ukraine facing some, well, clear setbacks on the battlefield. They've pulled out of the International Landmine Ban Treaty, the Ottawa Treaty from '97.
Right.
And this next part really caught my eye. It says a lot about where they are strategically.
Well, yeah. If we connect this to the bigger picture, withdrawing from the landmine ban isn't really just about, one type of weapon. It's a pretty direct response to the tough situation, the challenges they're facing.
Yeah.
It signals they're hardening their defenses.
Making it much harder for any advance against them.
Exactly. Making advances incredibly costly. It kind of suggests a move towards a more dug-in, maybe attrition-style warfare. But it forces you to ask, what are the other costs, beyond the battlefield, giving up an international commitment like that?
That tough calculation.
It seems born out of necessity, really. But it has potentially big long-term implications, for sure.
But, and this is the paradox, right? Diplomatic efforts haven't actually stopped. Peace talks are still technically ongoing. Ukraine even proposed a 30-day ceasefire. But it sounds like the core disagreements are still very much there. A kind of deadlock persists, even with all the fighting.
And that raises this really important point about how the military action and international support interact. Because even while the fighting is intense, the U.S. and European allies are still deeply involved. We're seeing continued defense deals and, significantly, new partnerships to actually help Ukraine produce its own drones.
So shifting from just supplying aid to building their capacity.
Exactly. It's a strategic move towards maybe fostering more self-sufficiency for Ukraine. It shows this sustained commitment, even while the diplomacy seems stuck.
So trying to wrap our heads around this, we've got this sharp increase in military action, these big drone attacks back and forth, plus this really significant, maybe ethically complicated step by Ukraine on landmines. But at the same time, diplomatic channels are open, there are ceasefire talks, and international support is still flowing, even evolving.
It really is a dynamic